still fighting for the West, and Ole Miss is too. Coach Fisher's saying every week is a playoff week for us.
Pretty much everyone in the SEC controls their own destiny. It's always not the best team. It's about the team that plays the best that day.
You just saw the heart of this team.
In the West, it's dogs every week. So, you got to come prepared and come ready to fight.
Everything that you got into every play.
Stay undefeated at home. Nobody comes in our house and take over our house, like nobody.
Matchup between two teams in the SEC West, and it might not look like it's that big deal at first glance, but it just means more. It's an SEC West elimination game. A New Year's Six Bowl bid is on the line. Game day is in Oxford for the first time since 2014. Now, Lane Kiffin, he was on the sideline at Alabama when they were here last time, and of course, Lane Kiffin now on the sideline for Ole Miss because he's at the helm, and it's lit out here. We're fired up. We're really excited to be here. Welcome to Countdown to College Game Day, presented by Battlefield 2042. Christine Williamson and Harry Douglas holding it down here for the next 30 minutes as we get you ready for game day. And Harry?
She gonna call me out. Okay, so listen, y'all. I was supposed to wear my gloves out here because it's a little cold, but I didn't. So I'm a little ashy, but so what? Because I got the crowd jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump up and get down. Jump.
Harry's hands are very ashy, just FYI. Don't look at them. I was gonna help him out. My lotion's inside and we outside. Anyways, we like to start every single show with something that we call The Top, and I'm gonna let Harry go first. What are you most excited about going into this college football weekend?
Christine, I want to take it to Knoxville. Yes.
Okay.
Knoxville.
Okay.
Tennessee, where Rocket Top Tennessee plays, because I want to see if this offense, led by Josh Heupel, led by Hendon Hooker, can they make this defense for the University of Georgia sweat a little bit, and not only make them sweat, can they put enough pressure on the offense of Georgia to have to score points? That's what I want to see today.
Heather said that Georgia is on upset alert against Tennessee. Do you really think, you said make them sweat. Do you think they're going to be able to make them sweat that much?
Well, here's the thing. They have to be able to sustain that for 4 quarters. That's been the problem with teams they played. They've only been able to do it like for a quarter. You got to be able to sustain that for 4 quarters. And if you can, you have a chance. But what I love about Tennessee offensively, they bring tempo. They have a dual threat quarterback. They get a lot of gimme free plays because they have that tempo. Line up at the line of scrimmage, snap the ball quick. Defense is not even ready. They get touchdowns, explosive plays off of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup.
I don't know, that Georgia defense, those are some grown men on that defense. Georgia. Okay, so last week I said that I love drama. I love when things get a little crazy. And I love when people get upset. So obviously we saw Michigan State in the top 4 get upset last week. They played Purdue. I'm most excited about watching the spoiler makers possibly upset Ohio State. Here's the thing. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are, I was talking to Michael Jr. about this specifically on our show, Rankings Reaction, watch it every Tuesday. I don't think that Purdue is going to be able to pull off the upset against Ohio State. They obviously upset Iowa when they were number 2. They upset Michigan State. I don't think they'll be able to pull it off, but I feel like if anybody's going to pull it off, it's going to be this Purdue team. And like I said, I love the drama. Do you feel like it's something that they can do?
It's possible. Anything is possible. You have to go out there, put your pads on, and play the game of football.
Yes, of
but
course.
Will they do it today? I don't think they're going to do it today because I think Ohio State has something for David Bell, because you can't let just one man beat you.
Yeah.
You see the 2 wins that Purdue has this year versus the 2 top 5 opponents. David Bell had over 200 yards in both of those football games. Now, it would be crazy if Brian Day let his defense go out there and play football today and let David Bell go for 200.
Because he knows what's going to happen already. That would be a little bit ridiculous. I don't feel like it's going to be happening, but I would love to see it. Okay, so Ohio State kind of has a path into the CFP, especially if they beat Purdue today. Another team that definitely has a path into the CFP is Cincinnati. Now, they played USF last night, and they beat them 45-28 to become the first 10-0 team this season. Desmond Ridder threw his 79th touchdown pass as a Bearcat, breaking the previous career record held by his quarterback coach. So based off of, you guys can't, oh yes you can, okay, you can see his face. Based off of what you saw from Cincinnati, has your mindset changed about them at all?
Has my mindset
They're number 5 right now.
about Cincinnati? My mindset has not changed about Cincinnati.
Okay.
You look at their last 4 opponents, they combined 8 for 28, right? And they're barely beaten. They're struggling with these opponents. So when you look at this Cincinnati football team, if they played another big school, I think they will actually lose by 2 or 3 touchdowns, honestly, because they start slow. And then not only do they start slow, when they do have a lead, they allow their opponent to come back and actually be in a football game. That's happened the last 4 weeks versus teams who aren't even good. So just imagine if they played a Georgia. Imagine if they played a Alabama. It would be complete domination.
They just like to make things a little interesting, right?
Too interesting.
A little too close for comfort.
Too much.
A little too close for comfort. Okay, I would like to preface this by saying, before we get to this next topic, that Riva, our social person, and also my best friend Max Garcia, I did not write this part, but we do have to ask a question. Are the Gators okay? Okay, so earlier this week, Gators head coach Dan Mullen fired his offensive line coach and defensive coordinator, and then he also lost a pair of recruits that were in the ESPN 300 earlier this week, which came only a few weeks after he said that we'll do recruiting after the season. So how bad do you think things are in Gainesville right now?
They're bad, and first of all, you're never not recruiting. At all times, you
That's
are
like a
recruiting.
weird thing
So
to say.
get up there in a press conference and say that, so these recruits can actually hear you say that. That put a bad taste in their mouth. Put a bad bug in their ear.
Right.
So I think it's Florida right now. I think it's going bad down there. And if they don't grab a hold of things, it could be a snowball effect and become even bigger.
Right. I also, just like I said, things aren't going well in Gainesville, like on the football field. So right now is when you need to be recruiting. You can't focus like, y'all don't got a chance that the postseason isn't going to look great. Just like focus on recruiting and like, the next people are going to be coming in. All right.
No, not according to Dan Mullen. It's not recruiting season.
No.
It's not recruiting season according to him.
That's why people just decide to leave and go to Georgia. I mean, they went to Georgia. That's not a good look. Okay, so we are here in the Grove. These people are crazy. I will tell you this. We were here last night. These people are crazy. We'll talk about that later in the show. So this is a bucket list item for a lot of people. A college football bucket list item. Do you have anything that's on your bucket list that you absolutely, other than being here at the Grove, that you absolutely want to do?
So I
in your
have 3 of them.
lifetime.
I have 3 of them.
Okay.
So the granddaddy of them all, Christine, the Rose Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2.
You're right.
Red River Shootout.
Yeah.
Texas versus Oklahoma.
Okay.
And don't you brag, because I know GameDay has already been there this year.
Been there,
and I wasn't on that trip, okay?
I know.
And then last but not least, the Big House, Michigan. Those are my 3 buckets.
Okay, those are pretty solid. I will say that like every single experience for college football that I've experienced has been like absolutely amazing. Honestly, just covering college football is a bucket list for me. So it's great to be out here every single Saturday. Now Texas A&M, as you guys know, took down Alabama, but they're going up against Matt Corral in this Ole Miss offense. So you already know the balls will be flying.
Let's go, Lee!
Corral scrambling, trying to find anything, and he goes in on his own.
He's just relentless and tough as a bush hog, because you can hit him and he's just going to get up, just throw a dime over your head.
Just having, that be your quarterback and your team leader, it really rubs off on the rest of us.
He's very good at using his feet. He has the most rushing yards. Being able to be in our coverage, I feel like we're going to be able to shut them down pretty well.
Zach, pocket, throws, right side of the end zone, touchdown, Aggies!
We've ran the ball well during this win streak. Zach has passed well. His progression has really helped this team.
The quarterback, I see that he's calm in the pocket. He trusts his O-line on 3rd downs. Like, we coming. We got guys that want the quarterback. They got to block. They got to block.
All right, so every single week, Lee Corso does the helmets. And let's see, he has the whole Miss helmet, crowd going wild. Then he picks up the A&M helmet, crowd not so happy about it. And then he picks the Ole Miss helmet, crowd goes wild. So I don't know Hold on.
I love how the crowd boos.
Of course. And then he goes with all this. So I don't know exactly what this means for his headgear pick, because sometimes he switches it up. Sometimes he chooses the team that he chose when he chose the helmet, and sometimes he chooses another team. So I don't know. We still have to see who he's choosing for this matchup. Speaking of this matchup, we got number 11 Texas A&M taking on number 15 Ole Miss. Aggies, they're the winners of 5 in a row on the road. They have the nation's second best defense behind Georgia, and they still have a shot at winning the SEC SEC West. And they still, of course, have Matt Corral, who had an ankle injury a few weeks ago. He's still not 100%. This A&M defense, like I said, second best in the country behind Georgia. Do you feel like they will be able to give Matt Corral and this Ole Miss offense a lot of trouble?
Matt Corral not being 100%, it's not going to be good today for Ole Miss. You look at this defensive line in Texas A&M. You have DeMarvin Leal. And then not only that, you have Clemens. You have Johnson. You have Peavy. You have all these guys on the defensive line who create havoc without blitzing. But when they get to third down, and we're going to talk about this a little later, it's when it gets ugly for their opponents. It gets ugly for their opponents. But DeMarvin Leal, I love the way he plays the game of football. He can play a 3 technique, he can play a 5 technique, he can play a 9 technique. He reminds me a lot of Christian Balmar from Alabama last year when it comes to versatility and how he can move around on the defensive line.
Okay, so the Aggies ran for 217 yards last week in their win over Auburn. Their third straight 200-yard rushing game. Ole Miss is giving up the second most rushing yards per game in the SEC. So is this the matchup that you're looking at when it comes to this matchup?
100%, because the last time I seen last time I seen Ole Miss against an Auburn offensive line, they got dominated. They got beat up at the point of attack, and they had over 200 yards rushing. Now you see Isaiah Spiller, you see Alchain, you see all these guys in the backfield for Texas A&M who can rush the football, get downhill, they can do it wide, they can do it any other way, and Jimbo Fisher's going to dial up those plays to make sure that the run game is efficient today. So I'm worried about Ole Miss up front against this Texas A&M offensive line.
Okay, let's go to the Big 12, which you know I love to talk about. We got number 8 Oklahoma at number 13 Baylor. That game's at 12 p.m. Now, everybody likes to talk about just Big 12 defense in general is typically very weak. A lot of people like to talk about Oklahoma's defense. Do you feel like Oklahoma will be able to stop Abram Smith in the run game at Baylor?
And the jury said no. They will not be able to stop Abram Smith. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. And it's not only him. It's the quarterback, Bohannon, as well. So both of those guys, they're going to run the zone read. They're going to run the option. And the last time I seen a football team did that against the Oklahoma defense was Kansas. And they had a lot of success. So hopefully they got it fixed. I don't think it's fixed because you just don't fix it that fast. But this Baylor offense and this rushing attack is one of the tops in the nation. It's going to be phenomenal. They have been phenomenal. They're going to be phenomenal again today.
Let's talk about the offense of Oklahoma. Obviously, Caleb Williams. We were there for the game. You weren't, but we were there for the game when Caleb Williams made his debut. Absolutely took over for Spencer Rattler, and that's how he got the starting position. What most impresses you about him? He's a freshman. He barely played last season, and he comes in on the biggest stage. What most impresses you?
Okay, first, ladies and gentlemen, let's throw out the door that he's a freshman because he doesn't play like one. His IQ. When you see that 4th down play against Kansas, him having the IQ and the mental capacity to take that football from the running back and get that first down, right now in all of college football in history, I don't think I know 10 players who would have made that play all time. So his IQ, his intangibles, the way he can draw out plays, we call it improvising, the way he improvised. Not only that, this Oklahoma offense, before Caleb Williams came into that game against Texas, the run game was non-existent. Caleb Williams brings another threat. Now Kennedy Brooks, now Eric Gray can have some room, have some land to be able to run. The next thing you know, Caleb Williams has took one for 60 and he's gone.
I do have a quick follow-up question with that because, I know you said throw out the door that he's a freshman, but he is still a freshman and he's leading all of these players on his team. How much does the other players on the team have to buy in that this guy can lead their team?
Well, 100%. And first of all, you trust your coach that he's made the right decision. And if your coach believes in him, you have to believe him because he did training camp with you guys. He's out there every day. He's putting that work in. He's putting that time in. But not only that, when he leads you back against Kansas to get a win, I know it's Kansas. And then in your biggest rivalry against Texas, when he leads you back and win that football game, why wouldn't you believe? You would be an idiot if you didn't.
Right. That's very true. All right, that's in the Big 12. In the Big 10, it's a huge weekend. The Wolverines are headed to Happy Valley, looking to keep their shot at the Big 10 title intact. And I said it, the Spoilermakers are taking on that Spoilermakers nickname.
You wonder if Ohio State can win the big games.
We've struggled a little bit the last couple of weeks, and they got a really good front seven, so we know it's going to be tough sledding.
We're going to have to really challenge things, give them a different look every now and then, make sure that we're aggressive in our approach, but still not get the ball thrown over our head too much.
Touchdown, Jackson Smith and Jiggle.
Defense getting stops and offense scoring in the red zone. That's how you win and lose games.
Trouble again. Karlaftis with the sack.
We have a great offensive line. They have a great defensive line. It's going to be a battle.
They have a lot of weapons, especially in the skill position. They have a really good quarterback. They have a really good line. They're the most talented team we've played so far. I think we have a shot against them or against anyone.
All right, guys, it is now time for What a Time to Be Alive, brought to you by Battlefield 2042. And we're going to talk about that Purdue versus Ohio State matchup because that's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. And we already know we called them the Giant Killers. They're heading into the shoe, taking on Ohio State. They've knocked off number 2 Iowa and number 3 Michigan State this season. That was the conversation last week. So, okay. Then they lost by 11. Sorry, we just got our hairs blown off. Okay, so anyways, Harry, what has enabled Purdue to continuously knock off these Giants? What is allowing them to do this?
I would say, number one, they're creating turnovers. They're getting turnovers, but their quarterback, O'Connell, has been efficient in both of those wins versus those top 10 opponents, top 5 opponents. He's playing a good brand of football. And then I mentioned David Bell. He is the Big Ten's best receiver right now, especially if we're talking about from a numbers standpoint. I know you have Garrett Wilson. I know you have Chris Olave at Ohio State. But David Bell has something to say, just like Outkast did when they was at those awards back in the day. David Bell has something to say. It's a down south thing.
What? What kind of analogy was that? Okay,
the song got something to say. David Bell has something to say to the rest of college football.
Let's talk about Ohio State. A lot of people were talking about C.J. Stroud going into the season. Is he going to be able to fill the shoes of Justin Fields? Who do you feel like Ohio State's unsung hero is?
For me, that's easy. That's freshman running back Travion Henderson. I think this team goes as he goes. He can do it in the pass game. He can do it in the run game. His running backs coach, Tony Alford, I got to give him a shout out because I know him very well and I know what he exemplifies, and I know what he teaches his players. First of all, I need you to be a great man first. Then you be a great student. Then you be a great ball player. Right now, he's having a very successful season, and a lot of that is due to Tony Alford, his running back coach.
Okay, I love that. Be a great man first, and then worry about all the other stuff. Okay, number 6, Michigan at Penn State. That game is at 12 p.m. on ABC. Happy Valley hasn't been very happy lately for the Wolverines. They've only won one of their last 6 few trips and have been outscored 21-0 in the first quarter the last 2 trips. How important is getting off to a good start in this game for Michigan?
Very, very important. They got off to a great start against Michigan State, but on their second drive, they had a 3rd down situation where they could have took advantage of it. Running back Corum, he dropped it. They could have easily went up 14-0. Next thing you know, Michigan State came back. But if you start fast, you have to continue to play fast. You can't have the letdown and the lapses. But it's very important for not just this football team, but for Jen Harbaugh also.
All right, so that's what's happening in college football today. Here's what's happening on College Game Day later today. At 9:20 a.m., things are just really messy down in Gainesville. Tim Tebow will join the show live to give his thoughts on what exactly is going wrong with the Gators. Then at 10:15 a.m., after 2 deployments as a Navy SEAL and despite never playing football, Damian Jackson had a dream to play in college. Jen Latta has the story on how the Husker linebacker went from twice rejected walk-on to a team leader on scholarship. At 10:25 a.m., no one knows Mississippi better than Wright Thompson. He joins the show, and the two of us will see what makes the Grove one of the best things in college football. Then at 11:05 a.m., they are celebrated, revered, and treated like royalty. Gene Wojciechowski has the story on the dogs of college football. Before we get to all that,
I like the dogs.
You like the dogs?
I don't have one, but I like the dogs. I had one growing up. I had
so I actually found out that if you like cats more than dogs, you have a higher IQ. I found that out this weekend. So
her cat doesn't even have hair, y'all.
I'm a proud cat lady. Anyways, I know that I got to hang out with the Ole Miss players yesterday. It was a lot of fun, and we talked about this matchup, but mostly I schooled them on their own program. So watch this. Christine Williamson here with Mac Brown and Snoop Connor, and we're going to talk a little bit about Ole Miss football, but I want to talk to each of them individually about something that you guys have going on. First, Mac, I know that you guys are throwing shade at ALS, so explain to everybody exactly what that means.
This year, we just wanted to do something special here at Ole Miss, and with the platform we have with College Game Day, we realized what better opportunity to throw shade at ALS at a night game.
Now, Snoop, your government name is not Snoop.
No, it's not.
It is Jared. Your name came from where?
Charlie Brown Show, Snoopy the Dog.
Snoop Connor, he's breaking free. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
So I can't call you Snoopy?
Nah.
Okay, only Snoop. Only Snoop over here. Game Day hasn't been here since 2014. I feel like it's time to educate maybe even you guys on some fun facts about Ole Miss football. Why is the speed limit 18 miles per hour around campus?
Archie.
Okay, and then why does it change to 10 miles per hour?
Eli.
Okay. I'm not stumping them. In 1904, Ole Miss played Union College and scored a record-breaking amount of points. How many points was it?
My guess would be 90.
It was 114 points.
No way.
What is Coach Kiffin's middle name?
Be a good question for Monty. I don't know.
Okay, it's very fun that you just said Monty because his middle name is Monty.
Really?
Oh.
We said it.
But what is it like playing for Coach Kiffin? Everybody loves Coach Kiffin.
He let us do us and just have fun. So we just go out there and he let us have fun and do us and play the game how we want to play it.
Awesome. You guys scoring 114 points tomorrow?
I hope so. I wish.
Well, thanks guys for hanging out with me.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that was so much fun to hang out with Mac and Snoop. HG, first of all, Harry's over here twerking. I've never in my life seen anything like that. Anyways, we got the Lane Kiffin bobblehead.
That's a big bobblehead.
Bobbing to the music. Hey, okay, so HG, I understand that you have some HG highlights about this matchup specifically. Can you break some things down for us?
Oh, yes, and I want to start with the Texas A&M defense and what you must not do. Right here, you see 4th and 6, the first game of the year. You see the DB for Louisville, 12 yards off. Too much cushion. We call that free access throws. So what? They're going to snap the football, 4th and 6, easy first down. Can't allow that much cushion. Got to get up on these receivers. Next game, we have Liberty. This is a 3rd and 5 situation, y'all. 3rd and 5. The DB is going to be 9 yards off of the receiver on 3rd and 5. Matt Corral sees it, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Guess what he does? He's going to complete this ball for a first down, and now Ole Miss is rolling. They're rolling. Can't have that much cushion. Got to get up in the face of these receivers. And then the last one we have right here against Tennessee, a 2nd and 2 situation. The corner again is 9 yards off. Too much cushion in my book. Matt Corral, a high-profile athlete, no problem. That's what I want. Give me free access. First down. The chains are moving. So if you're Texas A&M, you want to slow Matt Corral down. You cannot give him these free access throws. You must get up in these receivers' face and make things harder for him, Christine.
Get all up in their face.
Get all up in their face.
I love it. You're watching Countdown to College Game Day presented by Battlefield 2042. We're live at the Grove. We're getting ready for the game between Ole Miss and A&M. That game is not until 7 p.m. and these people are already out here. They've been out here all night long. And when I say all night long, we hung out with them as they went and go find their tents. It's the most intense thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Just look at this.
I would say it's just about like an aggressive landslide that comes out of here, and I'm all about being competitive and coming first.
So have you done this before? No, this is our first time.
If you don't come first, you're last. So
you're ready to run.
Oh, I'm ready to run. The slippers will not stop me. No.
We are out here at the Grove. It is a time-honored tradition where people run to their tent spot. I honestly am just so afraid. They have to go figure out where they're tailgating, so let's go check it out. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. How was the scene when you guys came through over here?
A lot of fists being thrown, a lot of punches, a lot of body checks, but we got our spot. A little bit of trash talking before, but we got the job done. That's all that matters.
We're getting our tents coming. They're right there. We're right here. Tents are here. Tents are here. They are here. Rams by 90, 9-0. One more time for ESPN. Hell yeah! Yeah, right! I'm taking it back to the
All right, guys, we have probably the most famous people on campus. We were on the road last night, like you guys just saw, and I saw you guys. You were in like a group of people. We were like doing our shoe, and we were like, oh, what's going on over there? And then we peeked over the events, and it was you two holding it down. So you have a lot of love out here.
It's been so much love here at Ole Miss. They've been so amazing. We've had so much fun here. It's an incredible place to be.
I mean, I will tell you guys, last night, before we did the road show, I was actually interviewing a couple of women, and I was like, are you guys excited to be here? Like, you're so excited to get your tent set up? And they said one specific thing. I want you guys to check this out. Hold on. I think we have it.
Tyler Cameron.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on here. So I literally asked him, like, are you guys excited about the game? Like, what are you guys most excited about? They said, we're here for Tyler Cameron.
Hey, you know,
Whatever it takes to get him out here. Tyler's going to need the Pythagorean theorem to navigate all these women out here today.
I haven't heard the Pythagorean theorem in a long time. Since high school. You brought it back, my man. You brought it back. I used to tell my teachers, when in the hell am I going to use the Pythagorean theorem in life? And my boy back James just brought it back.
And you're going to need it to navigate this equation.
You don't remember being in class and eating a pumpernickel bagel and doing the Pythagorean theorem?
Yep.
You don't remember that?
Isn't it A squared plus B squared?
Yeah, equals C. Exactly.
This is why I majored in communication.
Hey, me too. Don't worry. I didn't do well in class. I
have no idea. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys, because you guys are former football players. You played at Wake Forest. Yep. Obviously, your Demon Deacons took their first L of the season last week. I saw you tweeting about it. I mean, how do you feel about the Deacons moving forward?
You know, everyone has such high expectations, and we're moving forward. You know, we're in a great spot as a program. Coach Clark's done a good job to get those guys there. It's a loss. It hurt, but it's a 24-hour rule. We're not dwelling on it. We have bigger goals. We're going to win the ACC, and we're going to get in a big-time bowl game.
We control our own destiny.
I got to get on.
Louisville ain't doing nothing this year, so I don't want to hear it, Harry. I don't want to hear it, Harry.
No, Tyler, I remember the last time Wake Forest won the ACC. They went down to the Orange Bowl.
Oh, my gosh.
And they got trampled. Now, I don't know who was on that team, man.
Harry wants to bring it to pass. We haven't heard about Louisville since Lamar left. You know what I mean?
That wasn't that long ago, though.
Not long ago.
Oh, speaking of Lamar, we got to give him a shout out, y'all, because he is getting his jersey retired today at Louisville.
Wow.
Only the second person in Louisville history, the first person, Johnny Unitas, Lamar Jackson, the second.
Wow, that's amazing.
Lamar, man.
That's amazing.
He's a beast.
He is. Florida's
I
finest right there.
I love what they present. I love Sam Hartman. I love A.T. Perry. I love Roberson.
Yep.
Those receivers are so dynamic. I need more people talking about them.
No doubt.
Listen, and every single weekend they're putting that on display. We were up at the Army game. It was a shootout. They put up 76 points. We have the offense to compete with anybody, and we're going to prove that every Saturday. This Saturday, we're going to handle business. Next Saturday, hey, listen, y'all lucky we didn't have to play y'all this year, because we would have ran through y'all too. Everybody knows you can get it.
Tyler, he forgot something.
They got to have a defense. The defense has been asleep.
Hey, listen,
You let 58 points to North Carolina. You let 50 points to Army. Come on, man. I went to the fourth balls on the offensive side, so I can talk
Hey, listen, our defense it's been hard for our defense ever since we lost Elko to Texas A&M. You know, Texas A&M's defense is fire.
Yeah, only 14.7 points per game here.
They gave up 56 to Army.
I know.
Hey, listen, if you all knew what they were getting ready to do, they ain't afraid of nobody. They came in ready to
Oh my gosh. Well, I would like you guys to know, I also am an ACC alum. I went to both Miami and Clemson, and things are looking rough for me. So I feel like I'll just shut up. I'm not saying nothing about ACC football right now. But it's so great to have you guys on here. I do want to ask you, though, because you guys have kind of made a living off of, like, finding a relationship. And I feel like I'm single. I know you're married. You're in a relationship. I don't know what your relationship status is, but, like, what exactly do I need to do to find, like, a man?
Hey, listen, you shouldn't change anything about you. The person who is meant for you is out there. You're the best. You don't have to change anything for anybody. Listen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for watching Countdown to College Game Day for Cincinnati Battlefield 2042. It was a good time. We'll see you guys next week.
Amazing.